in 5. Please be seated and make yourself comfortable. May we also request your kindly cooperation to switch your mobile phone into the silent mode to avoid any interruption during the entire forum. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, please be informed that we also provide simultaneous translation for either on-site participants or online participants. For the on-site participant, whoever want to have the translation devices, please kindly proceed to the registration counter. And for the online participants, please kindly look for the icon of the in simultaneous translation and choose the language you prefer. And during the entire forum, especially whenever we open for the Q&A, question and answers, please kindly use microphone and to introduce yourself with name followed by your organization. And please kindly speak slowly so our interpreter could catch up about your sentences and your questions to translate. And the simultaneous translation is to translate from English to Thai only. And for the online participants, to facilitate the online networking, please kindly rename your Zoom whenever you log in with your name followed by your abbreviation of your organization for the online participants. So, and now let's begin our forum today. Good morning, Excellencies, honorable speakers, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Mekong Forum 2022. I am Hao Wen from the Mekong Institute. I am honored to be MC of today's forum. Before we proceed further, on behalf of Mekong Institute, I would like to send our deepest gratitude to each and every one of you for being here today with us. And of course, including those who are participating in this forum online via Zoom. Without your participation, there's no doubt that the event would not have been possible to continue. So once again, thank you. The Mekong Forum is a flagship annual event initiated by Mekong Institute since 2011. The forum aims to provide an interactive platform for stakeholders to discuss and share visions of emerging issues in Greater Mekong sub-region. However, since the COVID-19 pandemic outbreak, the forum has been paused for 3 years. So we are so excited to see you, all of you, face to face here today, and to resume the annual gathering here in Khon Kaen, Thailand. So with the support of Thailand Conference Exhibition Bureau, Chamber of Commerce of Khon Kaen, and Creative Economy Academy, the 8th Mekong Forum will discuss the tools, solutions, and experiences for accelerating post-COVID-19 recovery and building resilience in the Greater Mekong sub-region, or GMS. Now, without further ado, let's begin right into today's agenda items on the opening session. To begin with, I would like to invite Mr. Sulian Vichulaikan, Executive Director of Mekong Institute, to be on the stage to inaugurate today's forum. Let's give him a big round of applause.
Thank you, Hao Wen, for the introduction. Dr. Narongchai Akraseni, Mekong Institute Council members and also Chairman of Steering Committee. We are so delighted to have you today as being a renowned international development economist and also former Thailand Minister for Energy. Mr. Ramesh Subramaniam, Director General of Southeast Asia Department, Asian Development Bank, distinguished guests, representative from Consular General in Khon Kaen, representative from GMS governments, development partners, representative from Youth Association in ASEAN, civil society organization, and media. A pleasant good morning to all of you. It's indeed an excitement for Mekong Institute and also GMS countries to be able to hold this Mekong Forum because it has been almost 3 years. We have not been able to organize this annual event. It's also at the same time an opportunity for us to reconnect and started to again initiate our consultative process, looking into the future of what Greater Mekong sub-region will be and how we can better recover from COVID-19 and other issues such as impact from Ukraine war, impact of climate change, and so on. So with that, Mekong Forum this year, we are fortunate enough to have partners joining hand in organizing this. And I would like to recognize that the event is co-hosted by Thailand Convention and Exhibition Bureau, also in partnership with Khon Kaen Chamber of Commerce, Thailand Creative Economy Agency, and of course, many other development partners who in one way or another providing support to the activities of Mekong Institute over the past few years, conducting study, organizing workshop, which has been used as the basis to support the planning and organization of this Mekong Forum. Mekong Institute is an intergovernmental organization established by the 6 GMS countries, namely Cambodia, Laos, PDR, Myanmar, Thailand, Vietnam, and 2 southern provinces of China, Yunnan and Guangxi. We are mandated to promote capacity development to support regional cooperation and integration. As already introduced by Howard, that Mekong Forum is an important flagship event of Mekong Institute. It is aimed to really provide a platform, consultative platform, so that various stakeholders can really come and discuss issues that matters the most to the Greater Mekong sub-region. But at the same time, also discussing what could be collaboration, what could be agenda for action, so that we all can take and look towards how cooperation and partnership can be fostered in the coming years. Well, Mekong Institute, after the past few years, besides conducting studies and also still conducting capacity development, I'm also honored to announce that in 2021, Mekong Institute was awarded the ASEAN Prize, which is the prize awarded to an individual or organization working in support of ASEAN community building. This is for the first time that agencies located in Mekong region received such award. Mekong Institute recognized that this is not only the pride that we can take, but it's a reflection of a close partnership with all stakeholders, including the GMS countries, private sector, and the rest of the stakeholders. We do hope to use the opportunity to really bring the matters important to GMS so that ASEAN could look into how GMS could support the ASEAN community building and even the development beyond. Colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, it has been already introduced that beginning of 2020, COVID has strengthened all over the corner of the world, and the same holds true for the Greater Mekong sub-region. Our leaders have put in place policy and resources to really respond and also support recovery. Although progress has been made over the past 2.5 years, but much remains to be done. This is what the Mekong Forum this year will be about. It's not to look into the policy, not to formulate action plan, but to understand the situation and help identifying issue challenges where there's still a gap where recovery could be further promoted. We also hope that we could help even accelerate the implementation of policy and strategy so that we can ensure that the benefit derived to the people, communities of the GMS. We also hope that at the end of this forum, we'll be able to hear recommendations, suggestions from all the participants so that we can really form an agenda for actions. Mekong Institute will be ready to help socializing these important priorities so that we can find ways to promote cooperation and partnership to support the implementation of such important priority issues. During today Mekong Forum, we will have the plenary session, which will include the opening and keynote presentation you will hear just a moment from now. But we will have also a parallel breakout session. And this is a reflective of what Mekong Institute has been working with development partners and stakeholders. We find that it is important to look into how we can promote inclusive and resilient society so that we are not only strong in terms of recovery from COVID-19, but be ready to face any possible future extreme shock and impacts. We'll be also discussing about seamless connectivity, looking in terms of how we can boost the logistic, how we can facilitate cross-border trade, and also look into the digital acceleration, particularly the role of e-commerce. There will be also a session working on priority sectors. We cannot deny that all sectors play part in shaping how future of GMS will look like. But we believe that agriculture and tourism will stand an important role in terms of how we can engage the people and community so as to really recover better, quicker from the COVID-19 and build more resilient future for the years to come. Mekong Forum will have a final plenary session where there will be a report back from the parallel session so that we can hear the discussion, recommendation, and agenda for actions on how we can jointly take together. I would strongly encourage everyone to really use the opportunity to share your thought and also offer your perspective how we can do this together. In closing, I would like just to express my thanks to Dr. Nrongchai Akraseni for graciously be with us, and he will be also providing the keynote message. To Thailand Convention and Exhibition Bureau, Khon Kaen Chamber of Commerce, Thailand Creative Economy Agency for supporting, collaborating the event, to the resource person, to the speaker who participate also on site and online, not the least to all guest participants who joined the forum this year. This is an important element that make Mekong Forum a different. Without your insight, your thought, your aspiration, we will not be able to really identify agenda for actions and find way of collaboration and partnership that we all can be part of the solution for the Greater Mekong sub-region. I hope that you will enjoy the forum, and also would like to extend my thanks to my fellow Mekong Institute colleagues and organizing committee for your hard work in organizing this. We hope that this will make the participants comfortable, and you'll find the forum interesting, useful for your work in the years to come. With that, I thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you, Mr. Svian, for your warm welcome and also the very clear introduction of the forum. Up next, may I cordially invite Dr. Naronchai Akalasani, Chairman of MI Steering Committee, to be on the stage to give us the welcome and the keynote address. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me to give him a big round of applause. Dr. Naronchai, please.
Thank you for the invitation. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here to welcome you and to say a few words about the Mekong Forum 2022, in addition to what Khun Suriyan has already clearly explained. First, somebody doesn't like what I said. First, very warm welcome. I sincerely say this, very warm welcome. As you have been informed, we used to have the forum every year. It was an annual affair, the big affair, very enjoyable, very interesting affair, until the COVID pandemic hit all of us from 2020. Actually, it started end of 2019, but hit all of us from 2020. That was very unfortunate, because I recall in 2019, we were so optimistic about the future. We were planning at MI for the work plan, for the new strategic plan, and we were going to be ready for the so-called sustainable development model. We cited the sustainable development goals. We talked about how to achieve all of these goals. But this COVID-19 came and hit us. So that's why I say it's a very warm welcome. And as a person tasked with steering MI forward for GMS development, almost 3 years of absence is a very long time. I kept counting the year when we could come back. It's very fortunate that now we have come back. And the sign that we saw last night was very encouraging. So I have to say that I miss all of you. Actually, many of you have been our guests before. So I miss all of you very much. Now, in the last 2 years, 2021, maybe even more than the last 2 years, MI, Mekong Institute, just like all of you, all of us, struggle to survive and to stay relevant. I would include also myself. I've been trying to keep my business going for the last 2.5 years with a lot of loss in millions. We say about this MI because we believe that we have built a good institution for human resource development to enhance GMS cooperation. Now we are into the last quarter of 2022. Obviously, we have survived. But it has not been easy. I think I can explain this by citing the way we were preparing for different year of APEC. Now we are into APEC 2022. When we were discussing APEC 2020, we were talking about perhaps we should start on recovery. But when we were talking about APEC 2021 in New Zealand, we were wondering whether we could actually have recovery, because all the countries were still closed for travel. And when we were preparing for Thailand APEC 2022, we were suggested that we should use the word rebound because recovery would not be enough. Because in order to go back to the level of economic development in 2019, we needed to rebound. Just to go back to 2019, we needed to rebound. But ladies and gentlemen, towards the end of 2021, beginning 2022, as you have seen, the theme for APEC 2022, that word rebound was dropped. The word came open, connect, instead of this rebound. And this is the situation about how difficult it is to plan for the future. Anyway, it's obvious that we have survived. Now we are at MI are managing our recovery. We're not talking about rebound, we're talking about recovery. And holding and building a stronger degree of resilience. Maybe that's more important now, to have a higher degree of resilience. This is just like what all of us in GMS are doing. How best to recover, how best to build stronger resilience. In order to do this, we have to go back to economics. In economics, when we talk about recovery from a disaster, we need to identify which factors of production have been most affected by that disaster. A natural disaster, like flood, we're having flood now, storm, fire, or earthquake, would affect land, plants and equipment, and perhaps some lives. So repairs and replacements are required. This is part of the factor of production. A financial disaster, like in Thailand, 1997, 98, in the world to 2008, 2009. A financial disaster would affect capital. Additional investment would be needed. A disaster from COVID pandemic affects labor factor or human resources, their inputs into the workplace and their movement for production and consumption. That would be the thing that we should do if it were a short period of disaster. But a long period of COVID pandemic has had severe effects on the macro economy of all of us. 2 years, 2.5 years. For example, we need to manage our foreign exchange reserve, which we need to have because all of us need to rely on imports of essentials, particularly oil and gas. We need to manage our fiscal budget deficit because we all have programs and projects to assist the people, which have resulted in more public debt. We need to manage our inflation level, etc., etc. All of us are facing these so-called macro problems. Just to cite Thailand, the damage happened to our macro economy. Our foreign exchange reserve went down from 280 at the beginning of the pandemic to now 220 billion US dollar, 60 billion disappearance. Our public debt went up to 60% and still growing. All our member countries in GMS have the same problem. But there was one hope that I had in the beginning of this 2022. One hope that I had was about digital transformation. I think for a long period of COVID pandemic, what we have achieved is a much better utilization of digital technology. So I had thought that we could do this, because digital technology reduces cost tremendously, because it reduces the cost of intermediation tremendously. So I thought we could do that. Then something bad happened. I don't know why, why Mr. Putin had to decide to claim certain land in Ukraine this year. He should have postponed that for something like 2 or 3 years. Then we would be okay, because we were talking about oil and gas, about global warming. We thought that we could use less oil and gas slowly and increase others instead. But Mr. Putin, changed all that scenario, hosting higher prices for oil and gas. And another one, the US. Why did they have to increase the interest rate so much? Now 3% going up to 4, 5, and we're talking about more than 5% policy rate, causing a big increase in the value of the dollar and devaluation of all other currencies in the world. So these two actions by two major powers made it very difficult for all of us to recover. I'm trying to be optimistic, but I have concern. And I have to mention China. Our member GMS still stopped traveling. We need the travelers, from China to us. We needed for us to travel to China. So these situations making it very difficult to manage macro variables. But then coming back to what's in front of us. If we were to recover after this COVID pandemic, as I said before, we must focus on the people, their ability to return to work, and to reconnect for commercial and personal purposes. And in the long term, measures must be created and organized so that the people will not suffer from another pandemic so severely and for so long. I myself was already infected. So if you're afraid of getting infection from me, don't come close to me. People may say I'm dangerous. So we need to do this so that this effect will not be so severe and for so long. That's the issues to be discussed at the Mekong Forum 2022 about the health and wellness of the people of GMS. One Health is such a subject. No one is safe unless everyone is safe. Reconnecting the people is another. Our GMS economies are very much integrated by the movement of the workforce and of goods and services. This is the work that we have been doing for the last more than 20 years. So we must bring them back to movement and for further enhancement. Then what factor is for our workforce to focus on? As Kusia has already said, we have learned from the pandemic that the world will always need to meet the basic human needs, namely food. So our GMS with excellent water and land resources is good for this sector. So we should make it even better. Ladies and gentlemen, you will hear this important keynote address from the next speaker about the recovery and resiliency of our people. Then you can join the 3 individual sessions on the 3 areas that I have highlighted and Kusuyan has already highlighted. I am sure your participation and concluding recommendations and actions will make the Mekong Forum 2022 most interesting and to the benefits of all of us, of our GMS people. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Dr. Naranchai, for the very inspiring keynote address. Next, we are honored to have Mr. Ramesh Subramania, Director General of Southeast Asia Department of Asian Development Bank, or ADB, to provide the second keynote address. However, due to other engagement, unfortunately, Mr. Ramesh couldn't present here on site, but he has sent his video record to address COVID-19 recovery as a transition towards GMS 2030. So let's play his video address.
The Mekong Forum 2022 on the important subject of accelerating post-COVID-19 recovery and building resilience in the Greater Mekong sub-region. The Asian Development Bank is working closely with our member countries to face the challenges of post-pandemic recovery. Our emphasis is on supporting resilient economic growth and green infrastructure development. As the Secretariat of the GMS Economic Cooperation Program, ADB is also supporting the GMS countries in achieving these targets and overcoming the challenges they face. In this context, it's my pleasure to share with you a few examples of the work the GMS program is supporting in the sub-region. The GMS program is celebrating its 30th anniversary this year. It's indeed a celebration as the program can boast significant achievements in the last 3 decades. The unique strengths of the program remain its strong ownership from the 6 GMS countries, its work in the core sectors, its focus on achievements through quality development projects, knowledge generation and capacity building through technical assistance projects, and significant success in terms of financing and the achievements accomplished. The COVID-19 pandemic has been, and its continuing impact continues to be, one of the most significant challenges to the sub-region since the inception of the GMS program. The global headwinds coming from some of the other challenges also need to be carefully monitored in the near term. To take one example, the tourism sector, where GMS was the best performing sub-region in 2019, has been decimated. Besides its contribution to growth, there is also a significant risk of sliding back in terms of poverty alleviation achieved over the last 2 decades through the tourism sector. Galvanized into action to counter these challenges, the GMS leaders met at the GMS Leaders Summit in September 2021 and endorsed the new GMS Program Strategic Framework 2030 and the GMS COVID-19 Response and Recovery Plan 2021 to 2023. The GMS 2030 is based on a solid assessment of the key trends, challenges facing the sub-region, as well as the potential opportunities, and the values, interests, and principles commonly shared by the GMS countries. It contains a new GMS vision of a more integrated, prosperous, sustainable, and inclusive sub-region. It retains the 3 traditional pillars of the GMS program, namely community, connectivity, and competitiveness. All GMS program initiatives are being reoriented toward a new mission for the program, which retains the traditional strengths of the program, the 3 Cs, with greater focus on environmental sustainability and resilience, internal and external integration, and inclusivity for building a GMS community with a bright shared future. GMS 2030 also promotes innovative approaches to key cross-cutting areas, including harnessing the digital revolution, an enhanced spatial approach based on an integrated network of economic corridors with clusters of competitive cities connected efficiently to rural areas, a deeper dialogue on policies and regulations, embracing private sector solutions to leverage expertise and financing, gearing the program to cooperate closely with other regional cooperation and integration initiatives, as well as with local governments, the private sector, regional knowledge institutions, and civil societies, and establishing a results monitoring framework. The leaders, while endorsing the new strategy, expressed confidence that it will ensure the program's continued relevance and responsiveness in this decade and will help move the sub-region closer to its new proposed vision. The direct health impact of COVID-19 in the sub-region was initially relatively mild, largely due to the GMS countries' prompt, sound, and science-based containment actions. However, the sub-region faces adverse economic impact of the pandemic with reduced consumption and investment, increased unemployment, and a risk to increases in poverty and inequality. The program responded immediately with prompt corrective actions to support the GMS countries' response to the pandemic. Understanding that the post-pandemic growth and development will remain a challenge in the short to medium term, the GMS leaders endorsed the GMS COVID-19 Response and Recovery Plan 2021-2023, which is supporting GMS 2030. The plan is predicated on 3 strategic pillars, namely a One Health approach addressing human and animal health, healthy crops and food, and healthy cities, addressing the needs of the vulnerable and the poor, as well as safe and orderly labor movement and management, and finally, keeping borders open and accelerating economic recovery, focusing on trade, facilitation, investments, tourism, and agriculture. Both these key policy and strategy documents, in large part, deal with challenges of growth and green recovery. The GMS countries understand that a green recovery is critical for the sub-region and necessary to reduce the risks of future pandemics, mitigate and adapt to the impact of climate change, sustainably boost economic recovery and economic activities, and meet the Sustainable Development Goals. Let me now share with you a snapshot of some of the interesting work underway in the GMS program to ensure post-pandemic resilient recovery and rebuilding of the GMS. As national and regional health security is a critical matter, let me delve a bit deeper on this aspect before briefly covering other sectoral issues later. First, on health and human resource development, guided by the 3 strategic pillars of the GMS Health Cooperation Strategy 2019-2023 and the COVID-19 Response and Recovery Plan I mentioned, the GMS Working Group on Health Cooperation has been an effective mechanism of the GMS program in supporting the COVID-19 pandemic response and recovery efforts. This is at both regional and national levels. Significant financial and TA support has been mobilized, and some of that is also underway to strengthen COVID-19 surveillance and response systems, improve communicable disease control in border areas, procure materials and equipment for diagnosis and protection, and particularly build capacity for pandemic preparedness and resiliency. Partnerships with institutions such as the ASEAN Secretariat and the International Organization for Migration, or IOM, have focused on addressing health threats linked with regional connectivity and human mobility. Vaccination has been a very effective tool in the fight against COVID-19. In 2021, the GMS program quickly supported countries in vaccine rollout and delivery through a $5 million technical assistance, supporting enhanced COVID-19 vaccination and post-COVID-19 health security response in Southeast Asia, called SECURE. In February 2022, Cambodia received additional assistance of $95 million under the Cambodia Rapid Immunization Support Project, aimed at helping the government's vaccination initiatives in 2022 and 2023, including booster shots for those already vaccinated and primary doses for children under 5 years of age. This program is part of ADB's $9 billion Asia Pacific Vaccine Access Facility, or APVAX, which supports procurement and delivery of safe, effective, and equitable vaccines. In addition to the APVAX project, the Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank is providing co-financing of $50 million for the ADB project. The GMS program is also supporting post-pandemic recovery through development, dissemination, and exchange of knowledge. The use of digital health technologies has been one of the key focus areas, while fostering labor mobility with strong health security features has also been receiving significant attention. Another priority in the GMS Health Cooperation Strategy is One Health. A One Health response takes a unified approach to environmental, animal, and human health and their interactions. Now, planning for a new GMS Health Cooperation Strategy 2024-2030, this is looking ahead, is underway with the GMS Working Group on Health Cooperation, which is set to discuss later this year the emerging areas of support and partnerships needed to deliver on the region's future health opportunities and challenges. This new strategy will assess first the results of the ongoing strategy, draw lessons from the region's COVID-19 response, and will further reinforce the link to ASEAN's health cooperation and other development partner strategies on regional health cooperation. The GMS program will also continue its work on migration and health and communicable disease control through regional security initiatives. Working with the GMS members, we will considerably enhance focus on the interlinkages between climate change and health. Now, let me highlight a few other key priorities for the GMS program. First, on environment,
Some technical matters. Let's give our team a few minutes. I think we come to the very important points. We are waiting for the highlights. So hopefully my team can fix this problem. While we are waiting, probably allow me to just brief you the next sessions. So once the team fix the technical problem, we'll come back to the session. So after the remark from Mr. Ramesh, I will invite my colleague. She will give you the more detailed introduction about the following program, especially the most important parallel breakout sessions. So the more interesting sessions you may notice from the agenda, we have three parallel sessions. And in the morning, we will start at 11 a.m. So and every 11 a.m. until 12:30, within 1.5 hours, we will organize 3 sessions at the same time in 3 different rooms. So please kindly carefully check your registration and make sure you enter the right room with your interests. And the second round of parallel breakout session will start in the afternoon at 2 p.m. So if you have chosen the parallel session, either A1 or A2, you will stay in the same room. And for the session B1, B2, we are also in the same room. For the room for A1 and B, for A1 and A2, and also B1, B2, the breakout room is located on ground floor. And for the parallel session, session C, either C1 in the morning 11 o'clock or 2 p.m. for C2 session, you will stay here in this ballroom. So please be aware of this arrangement. I inform you just somehow in advance.
Under the Cambodia Rapid Immunization Support Project, aimed at helping the government's vaccination initiatives in 2022 and 2023, including booster shots for those already vaccinated and primary doses for children under 5 years of age. This program is part of ADB's $9 billion Asia Pacific Vaccine Access Facility, or APVAX, which supports procurement and delivery of safe, effective, and equitable vaccines. In addition to the APVAX project, the Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank is providing co-financing of $50 million for the ADB project. The GMS program is also supporting post-pandemic recovery through development, dissemination, and exchange of knowledge. The use of digital health technologies has been one of the key focus areas, while fostering labor mobility with strong health security features has also been receiving significant attention. Another priority in the GMS Health Cooperation Strategy is One Health. A One Health response takes a unified approach to environmental, animal, and human health and their interactions. Now, planning for a new GMS Health Cooperation Strategy 2024-2030, this is looking ahead, is underway with the GMS Working Group on Health Cooperation, which is set to discuss later this year the emerging areas of support and partnerships needed to deliver on the region's future health opportunities and challenges. This new strategy will assess first the results of the ongoing strategy, draw lessons from the region's COVID-19 response, and will further reinforce the link to ASEAN's health cooperation and other development partner strategies on regional health cooperation. The GMS program will also continue its work on migration and health and communicable disease control through regional security initiatives. Working with the GMS members, we will considerably enhance focus on the interlinkages between climate change and health. Now, let me highlight a few other key priorities for the GMS program. First, on environment, the GMS Core Environment Program is supporting green and resilient COVID-19 recovery efforts in the GMS, covering Cambodia, Laos PDR, Thailand, and Vietnam through the GMS Climate Change and Environmental Sustainability Program, which provides policy support, builds institutional and technical capacities, and demonstrates innovative options to build back cleaner, greener, and more climate-resilient economies. Second, on energy, the GMS program supports countries' efforts to achieve greater integration of particularly renewable energy sources through their respective countries' energy development programs. The countries have just set up the GMS Task Force on Energy Transition to help develop an overall energy transition vision that emphasizes the subregion's inclusive development of clean energy in transitioning away from fossil fuels. Third, transport infrastructure remains the backbone of the GMS program. In GMS 2030, railways as an area where innovation strategies are being sought, given that it is the most energy efficient and environmentally friendly form of transportation. Through the framework of the Greater Mekong Railway Association, GMS countries are now moving forward in pursuing various priority rail links in the region. Next, on agriculture, the GMS Working Group on Agriculture and various projects are helping the GMS countries to ensure food safety and particularly food security, which has become a critical issue now, and boosting competitiveness of agriculture value chains, a critical part of the response to the COVID-19 pandemic. Key themes of support include harmonization of agriculture food safety and quality standards, support for livelihoods and job creation in rural areas, control of transboundary animal diseases or zoonoses, and antimicrobial resistance, support for greening and financing inclusive agribusiness supply chains, and promotion of climate-adaptive agriculture in the context of the all-important water, food, energy nexus. Tourism. Most countries have reopened to international travelers since late 2021, and travel restrictions or requirements have been considerably reduced in the first half of 2022, allowing for an increase in tourist arrivals, and it has in turn led to greater receipts. GMS countries' COVID-19 response and recovery efforts for the tourism sector have been continuously supported by the GMS Tourism COVID-19 Recovery Communications Plan, as well as the accompanying toolkit prepared by the GMS Tourism Working Group. These guided the dissemination of accurate and timely information that supports a safe, resilient, and sustainable GMS tourism recovery. Next, on urban development, the GMS 2030 priority directions for this area include building the resilience of cities to future pandemics over the medium term through enhanced use of digital technologies, among others, and in the long term, develop livable cities that combine gray, green, and blue infrastructure and strategies for a holistic development. The GMS projects planned for approval under this theme will support urban planning and community resilience and provide infrastructure, particularly water and solid waste management services and urban stormwater drainage systems that will facilitate long-term sustainable economic growth. To support the GMS countries in building resilience of cities, the GMS Urban Development Working Group is exploring the emerging ICT and digital solutions, including transformative opportunities for more efficient water management and improved public service delivery. In closing, distinguished guests, ADB recently conducted an extensive and rigorous internal assessment of the GMS program. All GMS countries have exhibited a strong commitment for the program, and they consider the GMS Secretariat's role as crucial to the successful implementation of the program. As the GMS Secretariat supports the implementation of the GMS 2030 in this decade, we hope to develop and expand our partnerships with knowledge institutions in the sub-region, including particularly the Mekong Institute. We will look forward to more such mutually beneficial engagements. I am confident that the Mekong Forum 2022 will be very successful as it discusses these urgent issues that I've covered that are likely to shape the growth and development landscape of the Greater Mekong sub-region in this decade. Thank you.
Thanks to Mr. Ramesh for the wonderful address. He has given lots of details of the initiatives from ADB for the regional cooperation and also for the post-COVID-19 recovery. I think it deserves to go details, look for more detailed information with your interests. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to invite my colleague, Ms. Anusala Tanpitak, you can also call her Sarah, to introduce the following programs. Sarah, please.
Sadika, good morning, and thank you. So far, I think we have been having a lot of input presentation and then setting the stage for what's to come. Before we deep dive into our thematic breakout sessions, I think you are already very excited, right? And looking forward to learning more. I would like to use this, short time before we break into the small group to perhaps stretch our legs, it's been quite a lot of time sitting down. So if I can ask you to stand up, everybody. Okay, please stand up. I hope you all have your name tags with you and you have seen that there's a section if you have not written something about yourself already. Okay, I would like you to take a moment to write about what are 3 things that you're interested. Okay, for example, here, I work for communication and knowledge management at the Mekong Institute. So my interest is communication and then also environment and also, of course, Mekong Institute. Okay, so I would like you to use this opportunity, okay, to turn back or to the side, okay, and talk to the person that you have not talked to and then introduce yourself. Okay, please, we give you 5 minutes. Okay, let's see how many people you managed to talk to. And also for online participants, if you can share the screen, you can also type in the chat, okay, 3 things that you're interested. Thank you. Feel free to walk around the room, okay? Please feel free to go visit the other people. Okay? Good morning. Good morning. Make sure you talk to the person you haven't talked to before, okay? Okay, who managed to talk to 5 people already? Okay, all right. 1 more minute. Okay, 1 more minute. Okay, all right. Can I ask you to come back to your seat? Okay. Okay, everybody come back to your seat, please. Who's here managed to talk to 3 people? No? More? 5? Okay, 5 people here. Okay, who's managed to talk to more than 5 people and find out something interesting? I think you're still enjoying networking right here. Okay, let's now come back to your seat. If not, I will go and invite you to for a little interview, nah? Because I would like to know what did you find out about your colleagues here or participants. Okay, can I have ask you to go back to your seat, please? Thank you. Can I interview you a little bit? Okay, how many people have you managed to talk to?
4.
Did you find out something interesting about your colleagues?
Yes, many things.
For example?
So she works for a green farm, and I'm very interested to look for people who are in the green farming field. Yeah, in part of this Mekong Institute. So it's good that we're looking at some avenue for collaboration. Yeah.
Okay, very good. All right. So can I ask everyone to go back to your seat, please? Now nobody wants to sit down. MI staff, please help me. Everybody. Okay, thank you very much. I think you get to loosen up a little bit, okay? After hearing a lot of speeches this morning and then getting to reflect on the messages. Okay, we also have online participants with us, but I think they are shy to write. Do we have anything here? Okay, we have environment, health, agriculture. Okay. We have digital, financial, banking, finance, regulation. And then, sorry, the screen is not very clear. But we will export all the chat messages, okay? And then try to record and document everything. Okay, yes. All right, now if you can show the slide. So after that loosen up exercise, I will now introduce you to the program, okay? I believe you all remember, okay, which session you signed up for. And then we have arranged all the logistic for you, like in terms of the room setting up. So I ask that you stick to what you have signed up, okay? And for the recordings of all the sessions and PowerPoint, we'll share with you after the event. So in case you would like to know more, we will share with you. Okay, so this is done. And then now let's go into the overview of the parallel session. So you know that we have 3 themes, okay? Actually, these are the overarching themes, okay? So for each session topic, for example, topic A, inclusive and resilient society, we have 2 sessions, one in the morning, one in the afternoon. Seamless connectivity as well, we also break down into 2 sessions. And then the GMS priority sectors, we think about what are the key priority sectors of this region, and of course, agriculture and tourism. And then with that, we have a program that I think is very interesting for all of us here, because we're one way or another. I mean, actually, for me, we're all, victims, impacted by COVID-19. Like they say, it's like an equalizer, like we all have the experience, this pandemic one way or another. So here is the recap, okay, from 11 to 12:30, one session, then we go for lunch, okay, then we come back in the afternoon session, just to highlight that for group C1, you remain in this room, okay, who signed up for C1? Okay, you remain here. And then for the A1, strengthening health and society resilience, the room is downstairs. Okay, we will have our staff to guide you. They will hold the plaque, okay, and then just follow them. It's actually just one floor down. Same with boosting logistics and cross-border trade, okay. And then here, in the afternoon after lunch, okay, please make sure that you go to the room at 2 sharp, okay, because we only have 1.5 hours for the session, so that we can start on time. So again, A2 and B2 is downstairs, okay, and C2 will be in this room, the ballroom. Okay, just to flash you, okay, who's here with us. So for the strengthening health and society resilience, the focus, of course, is on the health and social security system. We'll be looking at how, what is next for this sector after the pandemic. I think we have been, not to take for granted, but sometimes we didn't realize how much health system is very important for all of us here. And so we look at this topic. So we have here with us, if I may ask our speakers here to stand up, okay, to smile and then just show, your face so that participants know that you'll be speaking. So we have Dr. Wong Sa. And then we have Dr. Raymond. He cannot be here with us, but he has sent his video recorded. Then we have Dr. Wiengmani and then Dr. Vipat. Can I kindly ask you to stand up? Okay, so this will be our speakers. Okay, thank you very much for coming here all the way to Khon Kaen. And then next is on logistics and cross-border trade. So, borders closed, country closed, markets, roads, everything has become very difficult. After the pandemic, we have to come back together and so discuss how we move forward with this. So here we have Dr. Julian. Okay, he's working at MI, but he's also will be moderating this discussion as well. So Dr. Julian, and then we have Mr. Sataporn, who also joined us physically here. And then we have Yelena, okay, from the HL who will join online, and then Michelle also joining online. Can I ask Julian and Mr. Satapon? Okay, all right. Next up is inclusive climate and economic resilient agriculture sector in the GMS. So actually this session, among all the 6, this session has the most people, almost actually 70 people joining. Okay, on site, yeah, 70 joining on site. Sorry, online. I mean, combining on site about 50. Okay, so that's also a lot. So this session will take a look at how the smallholders, the farmers are severely impacted by the COVID pandemic. Is, like I said earlier, everybody is impacted, but smallholders, they're, very much affected by this. So we'll look at what is the future for agriculture sector for the GMS. Here we have Dr. Rico Ancock. Okay, joining us, Dr. Jun Asido, and then Dr. Manolag, okay, coming from Laos, PDR, and then from the Philippines. Can I ask you to stand up, please? Actually, we have one more speaker, but unfortunately, Sunedli, he cannot join us. Okay. Thank you, thank you. All right, and then in the afternoon here, we also have on the topic of creative economy. Okay, if you're interested to learn more about creative economy, what it means, for sustainable development or green growth, green economy. So visit this session. So here we have Miss Montini and Mr. Benjamin. Mr. Benjamin's joining online. Okay, Miss Montini will be joining us. Oh, sorry, Miss Montini will join online. Mr. Benjamin is here with us. And then Miss Kathleen will be joining online and then moderated by Mr. Suriyan. Can I have you two to stand up once again? Thank you. Okay, and next 2 session. Another topic also emerging and gaining much more importance is digital acceleration. With COVID, I think we have seen things that we have not seen before. and experience things that we never, experienced before. Same with digital acceleration. There are many aspects to unpack here. So the first one, we have the first speaker, Mr. Sajib, okay, from UNCDF. We have Ms. Terjian Wang, okay, and then we have Ms. Sin Yi Lim, Mr. Shonladate from Thai FinTech Association, and Mr. Tiet Jin. Okay, and this session will be moderated by Hao-Wen, okay, our MC. Unfortunately, we only have one who can join us on site, which is Mr. Shonladate. Okay, Mr. Shonladate and Hao-Wen, can I ask you to stand up, please? Okay, maybe Mr. Shonladate is occupied in the morning and then he will come later for the afternoon, okay? And then the last but not the least session, okay, is on sustainable growth in the tourism sector. I think we are very happy to, to have this opportunity to have this face-to-face exchange, because travel has been very difficult, actually, nearly impossible in the past 2 years. So this session will take a look at what it means for tourism sector after the pandemic. So here we have Mr. Sangha leading this group, okay, and then we have Miss Catherine, then we have Mrs. Supawan, Dr. Mikael, if I pronounce your name wrong, I'm sorry, and then Mr. Gary Kruger. So here we have Mr. Sangha. Can you stand up, please? Okay, and the speakers will join online, okay. And then we have Mrs. Supawan also we join on site, correct? Are you here with us, Mrs. Supawan? No, okay. Okay, but we will have the representative from TCEP, Mr. Jumpon, okay? He will present. All right. So I think there will be a lot of presentations. And then you might think, okay, like maybe just listening, but actually we have this thing, okay, if you have not noticed it already on the table in front of you, maybe a lot of inputs, right? So I would like you to keep these questions in your mind while listening. So try to link, okay, the presentation with where you're coming from. For example, link and connect, okay, ideas, okay, from the speakers, and then what it means for us, for our organization, for our work. And the next is to listen together for deeper insights. Or maybe you can also ask, something deeper to the speaker. There will be presentations, but after that, there will be room also for discussion and then questions. If it helps, you can take note. It might also work for someone to draw, okay, to doodle, to do a kind of mind map, okay, or anything that will help you remember. And the last but not the least is to have fun, okay? Again, I said this many times before, but I will say again that it's nice to have this face-to-face exchange. So I hope that you would try to maximize this opportunity. I really feel, not sorry, but I hope that for our online participants, next year you can join us, okay, physically in Khon Kaen. So with that, I will end my session, okay, and then before we break into the group, I would like to ask for a photo, okay, with all of you. If you can switch on the light very bright, that would be good. Or if this is the brightest you can get. And then everybody, the 3 tables, come to the front to take a photo, to stand behind this. So the first row, you sit at the tables. Okay, and then the people behind, everybody can stand line up here, and then we can take a group photo together, if that's okay. Okay, all right, another stretch. Please ขออนุญาตทุกท่านยืนขึ้นนะคะเดี๋ยวมาถ่ายรูปข้างหน้ากันนะคะ Yes, the staff at the side too. Let's take a photo. So the camera will be coming from that side. Okay. Yes, just stand. I think maybe this table, I have to ask you to go closer. Thank you. Okay, and maybe this table here as well จริงเหรอคะแต่ไม่บังข้างหลังเหรอคะไม่เป็นไรเราถ่ายด้วยกัน Okay, yes, yes, yes. ได้หมดไหมคะ Only until Dr. Jun here, and so maybe I can ask you to be in the middle. Yes. Please, also, because we ended the frame. What about the other side? ขอไม่เกินตรงmaybe until here only, and then this one. Squeeze. And squeeze, okay, closer.เอาขึ้นเลยค่ะ And next we would like to invite the speakers of all the sessions. If you're present, can we invite you on the stage, okay, for the group photo? And then also Dr. Narong Chai, and then representative from TCEP, TCDC, Chamber of Commerce, CONCAN, and MI Council member representative. Please be on the stage for group photo with us. Thank you. Again, really unfortunate for the online speakers. And development partners as well. Dr. Jun, please. Okay. So 10 will be sitting down, and then the rest, please stand up behind the chairs. Yes, please. Okay. We have many male speakers and partners. Okay, we have one lady here. Yes, Dr. Wongsa.
Kun Gemma, Councillor Kim, please. Fujioka-san, if you still join us, please be invited to join, please.
Yes, and mask off and big smile. Do we have one more coming? If not, I will remove the share. We have one speaker joining us here online. Okay, please also include him on, show him on the slide so we can take one shot with him as well. Okay, thank you very much. Can I ask the audience to give the round of applause, okay, to our speakers and then all the organizers. Thank you. Okay, thank you very much. And now please enjoy your coffee and tea break outside the room. Okay, and then go to your breakout sessions, which will start at 11. Thank you very much. Excuse me, please don't forget to take your belongings with you. Okay, take all your bags.